Have you ever heard of a business trick so clever it feels like something out of a heist movie? Today, we're diving into a fascinating and, frankly, genius maneuver known as the left-right shoe game. It's a story about how someone turned seemingly worthless trash into a gold mine, all through a bit of logistical magic. Imagine you're a shoe importer. You've got a massive shipment of thousands of pairs of shoes ready to come into the country. Now, here's the problem. Import duties. These taxes can be incredibly high, sometimes eating up a huge chunk of your potential profit. If you bring in a container full of valuable shoes, you're looking at a hefty bill from customs before you can even think about selling them. So, what do? This is where the brilliance of the left-right shoe game comes in. Instead of shipping all the shoes together in one big container, you split them up. But you don't just split them into two random batches. You do something very specific. You pack all the left shoes into one container and all the right shoes into another. That's right, an entire shipping container filled with nothing but left shoes, and another one filled with only right shoes. Now, you send these containers to two different ports. Let's say the container of left shoes goes to port A, and the container of right shoes goes to port B. They arrive, and customs officials are ready to assess the import duties. You, the importer, are notified that your shipments have arrived and the tax is due. And here's the crucial move. You do nothing. You simply abandon the shipments. You don't pay the import duties. You don't claim your goods. You just walk away. Now, from the perspective of the customs authorities at Port A, they have a container full of left shoes. What is the market value of 1,000 left shoes? Pretty much zero. Who wants to buy just left shoes? Nobody can wear them, and nobody can sell them. It's a container of unsellable junk. The same exact situation is happening over at Port B, where they're stuck with a container full of equally worthless right shoes. Because you haven't paid the duties, the port authorities have to deal with these abandoned goods. Standard procedure is to auction them off to recover some of the unpaid taxes and clear out their warehouse space. So the container of left shoes at Port A goes up for public auction. Think about who would bid on this. Other shoe businesses? Nope, they can't do anything with a bunch of left shoes. Resellers? Unlikely. The general public? Definitely not. The only person interested in that container is you, the original importer. But you don't bid directly. You might send an associate or use a shell company to place a bid. And since there's no competition, what do you think the winning bid will be? It's going to be incredibly low, maybe just a fraction of the actual value of the shoes, likely just enough to cover the port's storage fees. You win the auction for a ridiculously small amount of money. You've just legally acquired a container of left shoes, free and clear, for pennies on the dollar. Meanwhile, over at Port B, the exact same process is playing out. The container of right shoes is also considered worthless and goes to auction. Again, you or your associate swoop in, place a tiny bid, and win the auction because nobody else wants it. Now you have the other half of your inventory, also for an astonishingly low price. The final step is simple logistics. You arrange to have both containers transported to your own warehouse. There, your team gets to work. They open up the boxes, and the grand reunion begins. Left shoe meets right shoe. Pair by pair, you reassemble your complete inventory. Suddenly, that worthless trash is transformed back into thousands of pairs of perfectly good sellable shoes. Let's recap the genius of this. You've successfully imported a massive shipment of shoes while almost completely avoiding the hefty import duties. Instead of paying tens or even hundreds of thousands in taxes, you paid a tiny fraction of that in auction fees. The key was to temporarily destroy the value of your own product in the eyes of everyone else. By separating the pairs, you made the inventory worthless to anyone but yourself, the one person who knew where the other half was. This strategy highlights a fascinating principle in business and logistics. Value is often contextual. A single shoe is worthless, but a pair is valuable. The person who controls the context in this case, by controlling both halves of the pairs, controls the value. Now, is this legal? That's the million-dollar question. This maneuver operates in a gray area of customs and auction laws. While you are technically buying abandoned goods at a legal auction, the initial intent could be seen as a way to circumvent duties. It's a high-stakes game that requires precision, patience, and a deep understanding of import regulations and auction procedures. One small mistake, like someone else figuring out your plan and bidding against you, could cause the whole thing to collapse. This split-port shipping tactic isn't just limited to shoes. It could theoretically be applied to anything that comes in pairs and is worthless individually. Earrings, gloves, cufflinks, you name it. It's a powerful example of how creative thinking can turn a system on its head. It's not about breaking the rules, but about understanding them so well that you can bend them to your advantage. What do you think? Is this a brilliant business strategy or an unethical loophole? It's a fascinating case study in value, perception, and the art of the deal. The left-right shoe game shows that sometimes the most profitable move is the one that no one else sees coming. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this deep dive into clever business tactics, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more content just like this. Let me know in the comments what other fascinating business stories you'd like me to cover. See you in the next video.